All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Sorry for running a little late this morning. It is 9:08. It is a Friday, April 14th, 2023. Got some stuff on the plate in terms of news. We did have our retail sales number come out, and we also had some earnings. But other than that, pretty much quiet on the Western front here. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. I think we are now around like 8,600 or so. So again, hit that subscribe button if you like these videos. Share it with anyone if you like it. I also posted a video to public. It was a premiere, and it was the video from January for the Investment Club, where we talked about our thesis of being short the dollar, or being lower dollar, lower yields, and lower inflation. So take a look at that video. That is up on the channel. More great things to come. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures down 31 points. NASDAQ down about 0.64% this morning. S&P 500 futures right now are pretty much down 1.18%, pretty flat-ish. Russell 2000 is absolutely flat now, 1808. Crude oil 82.22, pretty quiet. Gasoline futures down 0.41%, $2.82 a gallon. 2037 for gold futures, that pulled back a little bit after the retail sales number, down 0.87. Silver 25.93. Let's take a look at copper, $4.16. That's up 1%. Euro dollar, we talked about that as well. We were in that yesterday. Some of our members slid profits. I think Nick was the one who took his, but looking at it here, we did get in on the euro at 109. Right now it's up 128 pips. Make sure that's the case. Make sure I sent that to everybody. Make sure I had the right math there. We did get in here. Let's take a look at this Forex trade. I want to make sure you guys see it. Euro dollar at 110. This is wrong. 128. No, it's 28. Sorry. Let me get out of here. Delete. That's not what I wanted. Not 128 pips. My apologies. We got in at 110. You could see it, and we are now at 110.28. So we're about 28 pips up currently. We were up a little higher. I just have to get used to Forex sometimes. I think we got to pull back in the euro dollar. Yeah, we got to pull back. We got as high as 52. Technically we're still green on the trade, but we don't have it anymore. But again, I'm tracking it for the team. The stop loss has been moved. Bitcoin continued to roar last night, 30,820. That's up about 1%. Ethereum continued to go higher. We talked about that 2,000 level being important, 2114. We had Mara yesterday. We took that thing soared. I tweeted about it as well. It's now at $12.18. We have the 11 calls for next week and the $10 calls for next week. I'm holding the runners on those. So again, if it breaks below 11, then I probably would close. But now that we have a gap to fill here at 1162, I'm just going to move that here. In terms of the stop, I'm just going to keep in terms of the runner, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. But we're deep in the money, so we'll see if we get those premiums to bounce back or to go a little higher to help our our total P&L. But remember, in terms of our spreadsheet, the runners are there, but they're not calculating the numbers. So again, if you see that on the Discord and you take a look at it, again, the runners are not counted for that. But again, it is a little extra, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Volatility index pretty muted, 1793 right now. The dollar index did bounce. Let's go and take a look. It did hit some support. So again, key support of $100, pretty much that $100.82. That was the low that we had. But we did break already. So nothing really to worry about in that sense. I think we still going to continue to go down. But we have not breached the levels from January 30th. And that's kind of what we're looking for. $100.43. That's the level on the weekly, the 100 moving average on the weekly for the dollar, and that's our target, but we'll probably break that by the end of the first half of the year. In terms of S&P 500 futures, I posted this chart on Instagram. That 100 weekly moving average has not been breached since before, actually hasn't been breached really since August. So September, we've kept rejecting it 4 times now. Do we finally break above? That's 4202. We're going to keep that that level in check in our back of our minds. 4180 will be the first level to break. If we can break that, that would be Wednesday's wick high. Then we can see some continuation for a melt up. In terms of trading that I had Meta that we took for a signal. It did pull back with NASDAQ. I laddered the trade, actually added a couple more contracts on it. It's for next week. I have the 225 calls. Those are green. We got as high as 36%, but we didn't get to 40. So it is for next week, so I'm not too worried about it. And I added on the pullback. Google, again, we just got under it here. We're looking for 108.19 for that break because there is a gap to fill here at 110.81. I have the 110 calls. We played the Google 110 calls last week to get under that, and we caught it. So again, just a little more on Google. It's down about $1 this morning, about 1%, and so is Meta down about 0.73. Microsoft's down about 1%, Apple down about 0.81%, Tesla down 1.21%, and Amazon down about a quarter point. The big winners today so far, JP Morgan up about 5%, Bank of America up 2.75%, Wells Fargo 1.87%, and Citigroup up 1.46%. So the big loser today is Boeing on the 737 MAX issues, again down about 6% now at 200. In terms of the earnings, take a look. Let me see, I just had a headline come in. Just said Citigroup CFO expects mild recession. We had a retail sales number month over month in March down 1%. Estimate was 0.4%. Retail sales auto negative 0.8%. This is all a miss across the board. If you guys are interested in checking this out, feel free to take a look at our Twitter page at GAR Capital. Good morning. I had 2 weeks off. Now back to learning the market. Yes, back at it, Zoom Balloon. Glad to have you on board. So in regards to the actual retail sales, let's go ahead and bring this up here so you guys can see it. Here you go, retail sales, and you can see it right in front of me. Remember, the Fed cannot manufacture demand. We can only manufacture supply. So I can't sit here and say that this is a good thing because it isn't. If we get declining demand, yes, that's good for price pressures. That's good for prices to come down. Guys, it's going to be to the point where if we get deflation, that's not a good thing either, and I've said that. Prices start falling really quick, and then you really can't hire anybody, and you really can't keep people on staff. And again, that's recessionary. We know that really the best way to beat inflation is a recession. And the Fed already said we're going to have a mild recession. So take this as you want. The way I see the retail sales number here is that it's not good to see that we're getting negative readings, especially negative beat readings, more than double on a month-over-month basis. We're seeing demand softening. That means more layoffs are coming if this holds. So again, that unemployment number is going to go higher very, very soon. And then I don't want you guys to be surprised when it does. So again, that 4,200 level, if we break it, terrific, great, we're going higher. But more than likely, I'm going to be shorting that because that might be some key resistance. And it doesn't mean we're not going to go higher by the end of the year. It just means that it may hit some key resistance and we're just trading around it. Still within that range, guys. All we're trying to do is just trade and just trying to make some money. But in terms of the economics here, seeing retail sales fall like that isn't the best. On the opposite side, if retail sales are very hot, that means they still need to raise rates. So I think a lot of Fed funds futures traders that I've seen in terms of the data, the expectation is another 25 basis point hike in May. We don't have a meeting in April, and that'll be done. I thought we would be done in February, but here we are, one more rate hike, and we're basically at the same level on the S&P that we were last April when you had all those rate hikes. So it really didn't do anything to the stock market, but the economy is a different thing. So that's one thing that we have to keep our eyes on moving forward. So what does it mean, at least for today? Nothing much. I do expect a little more of a bump as we expect to get to 4,200. In terms of support, that 4150 level is key support. We had a nice rise yesterday, a very nice weekly chart on the S&P. So far, it's a great candle. If we can keep this candle, maybe get to 4180, we're definitely going higher to 4200 and going to test that 100-day moving average. Maybe we'll break above it. We'll see. But again, that's the expectation moving forward. I think here you stay long the market. Everyone's very, very pessimistic. I know I just said some pessimistic things regarding unemployment, but again, it's all about timing. So again, we may be a little pessimistic on certain things, but at least for right now, we expect the market to go higher, at least to 4,200. And with that being said, we'll just kind of trade around that. That's really all we could do, is just trade and go for the opportunities with good risk management and high probabilities. I don't think I'm going to get into any other trades today unless I have some alerts actually break out, but we're pretty much just flat for the most part. Yes, NASDAQ is down about 0.5%, but again, it had an incredible day yesterday. 13,240, I place a limit order there for futures. If we break that, I would say get us a continuance to the highs, the weekly 100 MA. That'll be my target of around 13,478. The stop will be a little wider, and again, if it is a little wider, we'll move the stops as we go. But I like NASDAQ long at 13,240. If we break that, I would target 13,479. You start going a little higher, maybe you get to 13,300, excuse me. You move that stop a little bit, at least to break even, and let the profits ride. And I think you could swing that for a little bit, at least until the end of April. As we know, it is a seasonally strong month. But May is a seasonally weak month, so we'll see what we get. That kind of links up to that 4,200 level or so, so it remains to be seen. Right now, what I have open, the only thing I did not get this week was Tesla. I have Meta and Google open for next week, and I still have some Mara runners. So we'll go over later today after the bell about how we did this week. We'll go over each of the trades and everything like that, and it should be a fun one. So I will get that out to you guys as we finish up and wrap up the actual day. It'll be a recording. I'll just post it, make life a little easier, just make it that way for the recap. I also send it to our Discord team. So, and speaking of the Discord team, well, we would love to have you on board and join us, because we also trade Forex and futures and options as well. So, you know, hopefully over the weekend you consider joining us as we're starting to get a little bit of a push in Bitcoin and all these other ways that we can see if we can profit from the market. I mean, Mara isn't AMD, Apple, Tesla, Google, or Meta. Mara was really just a trade based on Bitcoin, and we got it right. So there's always something out there to look at and somewhere to take advantage of and profit from. So that's kind of the idea, that you joining us is to give us the opportunity, to give us the way to look for these opportunities for you guys so you can profit. We're just going to tell you where to fish, where the fish are biting, and that's kind of what we do. How big of a fish you catch is really up to you, but we're going to tell you where they're biting. All right, guys, with that being said, I will catch you guys later this afternoon. We'll go ahead and recap the week. I'll record it, and I'll go over all the trades as well. Have a great rest of your Friday. I will see you guys next Monday for the morning note. And if you're planning to see our video later today, that will be up around 4:30 or so, or 5. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Cheers.